Welcome back to Eyes on Israel. I'm sitting with Hadas Lowenstern. Hadas's husband, Elisha, who I knew for many years, dear friend of my family, just to share a personal note. Elisha was killed in this war in the Gaza Strip. Hadas and Elisha have 6 children. They live in the town of Harish in northern Israel. And while we watch what's going on in the war, everyone paying attention to this show knows what's going on in Israel's war with Hamas. What's often lost in the numbers, in the statistics that we hear, in the politics, in the analysis, is real lives, individuals whose lives have been affected by this war. So Hadas, tell us about that day. Let's go right to that, about finding out about what happened to Elisha.
It was Hanukkah. It's a holiday, and I was here in my home with my kids and my parents and my sister, and we were sitting down to eat festive dinner, and then we heard a knock on the door. When you live in Israel, you know that when someone knocks on your door when your husband is in Gaza, then that's probably not good news. And they opened the door, three officers from the IDF. They came in and they announced us formally that Elisha got killed. They did not know to say anything about how it happened or what happened to the other members of the tank or anything. They just told us that he got killed and that we have to start thinking about a funeral and where to bury him and just a whole lot of questions. And it was a hard evening, I'll tell you that. I think that for me, because I'm a mom of 6, I had almost no time to think about myself. I immediately started thinking about my kids. How am I handling this? How am I handling things? I have a baby. She was 10 months old, Ruth, and I had to think. Who's gonna babysit for her? I'm taking her with me. I have children who are youngsters. I had to cater to their needs immediately. And for me, I think it was a blessing because when something like this happens, it's the end of the world. And my kids, they kept me here. They kept me focused.
As we mentioned, you have 6 children. As the father of 6 children, officially, according to the rules of the IDF, your husband was not required to, as a reservist, he was not required to go in and serve in this war, right? Because just to make things clear for our viewers, your husband was not a career soldier.
He was a Java developer.
Right, he was a Java developer. He worked in high tech. He was a Torah scholar, and like many of the people in this country, our army is mostly a citizen army, a reservist army. My son is currently in Gaza right now as a reservist, and because you had 6 children, your husband's requirements for reserve duty did not require him by law to go into combat. So what that means is that he volunteered. What was that conversation like? What was that decision like for your husband to go into combat in this war?
There was no conversation about that. That was clear. This is our country and we have to defend it. And we think it's a privilege to go out and defend your country. And Elisha volunteered. He did the reserved service. After Ruth was born, they told him, that's it. You don't have to come anymore. And he said, yes, I have to come. Sorry, I have to come. I want to protect my country. So we didn't have a conversation of whether or not he should go. It was clear for both of us. If Elisha would have told me, listen, I think I'm not going to go, that would be weird. Like knowing Elisha, knowing how responsible he was, knowing how much he loved us and cared for us and wanted us to live here peacefully. If he wouldn't have gone to this war, then that was something we had to have a conversation about.
Wow. So he was in a tank, and as I understand it, this is when the Israeli army was moving towards the southern part of the Gaza Strip.
It was right after the ceasefire. When the ceasefire ended, then the IDF began to move forward to the southern part of the Gaza Strip, and Elisha was the first tank to go in, and that's what he did. He fought within Gaza in Khan Yunis for 10 days, and then on the 10th day, he got hit by his tank, got hit by an anti-tank missile, and he was killed on the spot.
So Hadas, war, fighting for the nation of Israel, fighting for our people, which is obviously something that is the highest ideal for you and for Elisha even before this war. And we know that war comes with a price, that the willingness to sacrifice one's life for one's nation, for one's country, is a prerequisite to winning wars. But at the same time, now you're on this side of things, having experienced this tragedy of losing your husband, and you know what it's like being on the other side when you a member of the community, and we feel the pain and we see what's happening. What does the meaning of that sacrifice mean to you now? Meaning, before it was probably more of a theoretical concept, self-sacrifice, but now that you're really experiencing it from a spiritual perspective, as dark as this period of your life is, what is that meaning? What meaning is there in that self-sacrifice?
So first of all, it was never theoretic, because I have an uncle who was injured in the Yom Kippur War, and he was in hospitals for 5 years. And I have a cousin who was injured in the Second Lebanon War. And I grew up knowing people who got killed, so it was never theoretical. The word tragedy does not express what I feel.
Talk about that.
I feel that for 2,000 years, Jews were trying to defend themselves with both of their hands tied behind their backs. We had no country, we had no army. We had to daven, right? We had to pray that nobody would kill us. And for the past 75 years, we have a great privilege to defend ourselves. This is not a tragedy. This is war. War has prices, but our life here are so meaningful. And I still think the price is worthwhile. I love my husband. I love him. I wish I could have lived with him all my life. We had great plans. We wanted to see our kids grow old. I love Elisha, but it's not a private story. It's about the state of Israel, which is threatened daily. And we each do our best to defend our country.
So Hadas, with the few minutes that we have left, if you could just share whatever you're willing to share about how your children have been dealing with this, and what that's looked like as a mother.
That's a good question. First of all, I have 6 children, so each one of them deals differently. And it's like last week someone was okay, but then this week everything collapsed. So I can't say anything which is general and fits everything. I can say that when you have a meaning in life, when you have a meaning to what you do, then you have more ability to go through hard things. And my kids know why are we here in Israel, and they understand and they know that this is the price that you pay to live in Israel. And also, we get a lot of support we have a good family. You know some of my family, so you know how much support and love we get. We have a wonderful family and a wonderful community, and everybody just wants to share and to be able to help us in every way possible. And last week, I went on a date with my 9-year-old daughter. We went on a date, we went to a coffee shop, and she told me, you know, Mommy, I don't want to switch lives with anybody. I think we have the best lives. And I said, you know what, Hamuda, you're right. You are right. We have a wonderful family. We have a wonderful community.
We only have about 35 seconds left. If you could look into the camera and just share a message, what message do you have for those people who are watching this whole situation and thinking about people like yourself and what Israel's going through? What message do you have for our audience?
Okay, so first of all, I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you that you are listening and trying to really understand what is going on in Israel, and that you are not just going with the flow, because the flow in this case is wrong. And some of the people who are talking about Israel and what it does have never been to Israel, and they don't really know us. We are real people, and we are people who love peace and who want to make this world a better place and to live our lives and to raise our children. So I just want to say thank you for taking the time to try and understand what is really going on in Israel.
God bless you, Hadas. Thank you for doing this, and may God shine his light on you and really look after you and your family. You're an inspiration. Thank you.
Amen.